Oklahoma bounces back. Texas just survives, and Billy Napier is out at Florida. We got lots to talk about this big Monday. Good morning, and welcome back to Rise and Shine College Football's Big Monday. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. He is Big Mike Boganowski. And if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame college football. Big dog, what's up, man?
Man, I'm chilling, bro. Just another great weekend of football.
Good
Went
weekend.
three
Good
and
weekend,
one. I went 3-1.
bro. I had
Marcus
a
won. Marcus won on Friday. Cam won on Saturday. Sooners won Saturday afternoon, and I took a big L in my fantasy.
well, there you go.
Three
There you
and one,
go.
bro.
It's a great weekend of football right there, though. That's not bad.
Yeah,
It's not
man.
bad.
Shit, my week, hey,
Before
man.
we,
I watched a lot of football Saturday, dude. Oh. How about this? Never mind. 4-1. 4-1 because my 3-leg parlay hit. Missouri tried hard. Missouri tried hard to trick it off,
I'm listening.
but they came through. They came through. Came through and snuck it out in Auburn. Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze is he out of there, bro. There's no way they keep that dude.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that's a for sure thing. We'll definitely be getting into that as well.
Yeah.
Man, if it was freaking, how is it that Ole Miss can't hold a freaking double digit lead in the fourth quarter?
Hey man, you
Screwed
gotta you,
me.
hey, you
That's
gotta
that. Hey, that killed me on a parlay that would have got me $1,200.
dude, listen, you've heard BV say this a couple times. He loves watching Georgia because they are so comfortable in the uncomfortable moments of games. He's like, they always find a way to win. And shit, dude, he is 100% spot on. 100. They always, and that shit doesn't rattle them. You
Yep.
know what I mean? They don't get out of character. They don't do dumb shit. They are comfortable being uncomfortable. And those dudes know how to win in clutch moments, bro. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
For some reason, it just Ole Miss on the road in Athens. I couldn't get behind it, man. I felt like,
It was just a cover. It was just a cover. I mean, we're talking 7.5. I had. I mean,
oh,
you
dude,
can't
that was
really
backdoor
say.
cover, bro. Little last minute field goal. You know what I'm saying? Eight. Like, that was amazing.
Ugh,
That was
would
amazing.
have
That
been
little
great. Would have been
last
great.
minute.
Would have been great, but $1,200 down the shitter. I did win on another parlay that I had going on with my bookie. Make sure that you sign up to my bookie through Hall of Fame College Football and get your first deposit bonus on us. It's hofmedia.us/mybookie1000. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Brandon Snake, Logan Licky, Liberty Metcalf. I don't always want to say Liberty Mutual for that. David Whitehead, David Moyer, Mr. Dealigoff. Who else we got? Brandon Snake. What's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning, everybody. Let's see. Who all we got? Yeah. Hey, listen. Now, obviously, the biggest story for us, Oklahoma finding a way to get it done on the road, and not even finding a way. They handle business. Went out there, didn't play with their food. They started running the football in a big way. Um, you know, probably you're still hearing a lot of stuff about Batir and what he didn't do, but guess what? This was a winning brand of football. If you look at what it means to have a dominant defense, is it not?
Well, it's not going to last if you ask Matur to do everything every week, right? It's not going to last. Um, you're not going to go very far either, right?
Right, right.
You got to have teammates. That's why football is the ultimate team sport. You know what I mean? Like you gotta get help from otherwhere. Dude, I really like Satania. Um, that dude is really good. I think Giovanni is going to get better and better each week as he comes back from that broken leg. You just don't come back 100% from that. I think Giovanni is going to be a real weapon. Wait till he wait till we start throwing him some 50-50 balls. Like that dude excels at that shit.
Yeah.
Um, and I think you still see Burks, has his little flashes every once in a while. Still want to see him make people miss. Still want to see him go over the
Needs.
top. I want to see him go over the top. But I mean, I think that Blaylock X Rob combination is probably it moving forward.
Yeah, look
Um,
like it. Sound like it.
there's I just I you got to get those two touches right. We don't have time to try to get out of touch here and Tatum a touch there. In my opinion, we're not there anymore. Um,
I
and
wouldn't
we're not.
mind seeing Tatum jump in there and get a touch here and there, but I mean, not at the expense of getting these guys carries. You know what I mean? If it's a situation like at the end of the game, I wanted to see that, but apparently Tatum got hurt on that. I don't, or that was at least reported. I don't know if that's a
On
fact.
that one play, he kind of got popped.
He did. He did. It looked like he could have. And look, you could trace back what was going on with whether it be the fumbles or whatever to the Tennessee game last year when he got lit up. So I
Hey,
mean, it sucks that that went down, but you can trace all that back.
well, here's the deal too, man. We left out probably the best overall performance, and that was our O line. Um,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
we were
they
getting
they
to that.
they spread the dudes out and ran the rock, and they look good doing it, man. Like that is. And listen, man, we all know Gabe is the authority in Oklahoma football about O-line play and what we should be doing. Just from like a fan perspective outside of the coaching office and us as content consumers and creative, people or whatever. But like Gabe Gabe is spot on, dude, and that's why I pay attention to him, dude. They are first class in this shit, right? And especially football. And if
They know what they're talking about.
you should
And on
listen,
top of that, they get the inside information more. They've got an actual conduit to the program in ways that a lot of us don't. You know
dude.
what I
Bill
mean? They're gonna
Bedenbaugh coached Gabe. Like if
correct.
if if that isn't like the insight of all insights,
Yeah,
I mean,
no doubt.
he'd be right
No doubt.
there. He'd be right there on the
Welcome
sidelines.
in.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, he's on the sideline. He's there for the. That's what I mean. They're plugged into the program in a way that really nobody else is. Nobody else is.
Yeah. And
Because they're there during the game. He's on the sideline. You've got Teddy up in the booth. They're communicating back and forth about what's happening, and he's, yeah, definitely, and yeah, look, he's also one of the best offensive linemen to ever play at Oklahoma. He's the only guy that was a 3-time All-American,
yeah,
as far as I could tell, and then this is kind of how it is. But hey, welcome into the show, T Boomer,
hey,
our
boom.
Moosehead. Sooners for life. True Okie, Crucifix Autumn, my
Oh,
gun.
live? Shit. Sooners for life. Hey,
Sooner
if
for
you're not
life. S4L.
yeah, fuck, that's amazing. 9-time champ.
Nine
Listen, man,
time champ. The old 9-time champ out of there, out of Auburn. Are they going to fire Hugh today?
that bro, bro, it's
Recently?
it's coming. If it's coming.
It's got to be coming, right? I mean, it feels like that's
Listen,
a
hey,
that's
here.
a
Oh,
big
listen,
team.
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
be a little petty here. I'm gonna be a little petty. But if you put your team and your coaching career in the hands in on Jackson Arnold, you're just asking for you're asking for trouble, man. Because kid's a hell of an athlete. Not trying to dog on him, but he has his issues, man. And it's, I I don't know if I would do that. And I get it; those dudes are cocky and they're confident and they think they can fix kids and fix guys and quarterbacks and da, 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 da. But man, I don't know if I would have done it, dude.
And call your team trash. Because that's what they are, trash.
I
Dude,
mean,
it's just JA. We left the Mr. Dilgap. We took the F out a long time ago.
yeah, JFA. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. Sometimes it was like Jackson fucking
Just
Arnold.
JA.
You
Yeah.
know, yeah.
No, but yeah,
You don't
man,
have to leave it
it's
out.
coming, dude. It's coming. Dude, have you look at the rest of their schedule. Tell me tell me where
They're
they
in
get more
trouble.
than one win. Because they pulled it
Yeah, I
up
don't
the
know.
they pulled it
I
up the
mean,
night
if
that
you,
they were playing.
yeah, we talked about it before. I mean, we talked about it before Oklahoma played them too. It's their schedule was very similar to what Oklahoma's is down the stretch. Now, I mean, they've got Arkansas and Kentucky left.
Dude,
I mean,
Arkansas looked great.
Arkansas is going to whip the shit out of them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Um, Kentucky, they should win.
Hey,
Vanderbilt, no.
do not let me forget about
Mercer,
Tulsa.
no, they should be able to get one. They should be able to get two. I mean, they should be able to get two.
Dude, hey, we got to talk about that Kentucky Texas game.
Definitely, we're going to do that. We're going to jump into that. There's also, I mean, you've got Lincoln failing to hold on to a lead in South Bend again this weekend. And losing what was probably, or at least for now, the final uh, game in a almost 100-year long rivalry that hasn't really taken much time off. You've got Texas Tech getting taken down a notch in the desert. The Holy War goes down at BYU. The good guys win, because Utah, the fuck Utah. But
I
and
was
then,
like, explain to me the Holy War concept right there. Like I need to because I feel like BYU is LDS and pretty much the state of Utah is the same thing. LDS.
well, for the most part, but you don't have to be LDS to go to
That's what I'm saying. But
Utah.
like, how is it a holy war, right? Like if it was like LD, like if it was like BYU versus Notre Dame, I could understand that.
Well, they're
I don't know.
definitely. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I was
Christianity.
wondering that when I
I
was
don't know
watching the game.
what's that.
Somebody in the chat helped me out.
Yeah, but don't. I mean, it's just one's LDS and one isn't. The school isn't connected to. I mean, BYU is the school of the founder of the Latter Day Saints. The
Yes, I'm
Mormons, the
tracking.
Mormon Church.
I'm
It's one
tracking.
is the Mormon Church, one ain't. So one's a state school, the other. But anyway, there's and it's definitely a war. They didn't get that part wrong. Lots of hate going on there. Listen, after all that jibber jabber from last year and all that I heard about Devin Dampier and all that other crap about Utah being back or whatever, just what I said. I've been pretty right on most of my expectations for around the country who's going to be good and who's going to be not. Um, I think the only one that's exceeded my expectations, and I'm not sure how much they've exceeded it though, but would be Mizzou. That's about it. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep. Licensed legend T Boomer. What up, guys? Kill a
Mid
horse.
mid zoo. What's Shorty talking about right here?
So him and Smook they got into a good. You should definitely check this one out. So Friday night I had a late edition of the show. Both him and Coach Smook jumped in, and they were going back and forth about. Smook said that he was running an outdated defense, which I'm not sure that I necessarily agree with. But, I don't know. I mean, you can say that he's wrong, except for y'all gave up 35 points. You didn't get a stop until the fourth quarter. So, I mean, he could probably argue it the other way too, Shotty. But, shout out to the Bulldogs for handling business and getting it done. As I figured that Ole Miss would cover, but it was a good game for Georgia. And hey, I got to give a lot of props to Gunner Stockton for the way that he's played in these big games.
He cold, bro.
He is. He's gone out there and lit it up. When it has been important for him to be able to kind of go toe to toe with some guys that are definite throwers. He's done it. You know what I mean? I would say, obviously, the Alabama game, they didn't win, but they could have won. And it was right there at the end of the game. It definitely wasn't. I don't think it was Gunner's fault that they lost that. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, good game there. A lot of freaking good football this weekend, brother. A lot of freaking good
A
football.
lot of dumb shit this weekend too.
Yeah, there was. Bro, and let's get it. Let's go ahead and talk more about Oklahoma first. We only have a little while tonight, so this morning. So let's talk about OU and what we saw in that game first, and just kind of get all that out, and then we'll kind of run through the rest of the league as well, and as well as nationally. Because I think there's a lot of really good storylines out there. Obviously, Billy Napier gets the axe. Gus could be getting it at any minute now. I guess they got a meeting that's scheduled for this morning. So I would expect it. Not Gus. Hugh Freeze could get it at any moment now. Mike Norvell is liable to be getting it as well.
Yeah.
And Stat Guy said on Saturday night, whenever he came on, that if they don't fire Shula, he's even calling for, and he hasn't been one to do this. Beamer's definitely teetering on the edge of that job there in South Carolina, although it looks like he probably has a fallback in Virginia Tech. So we'll kind of see. And I think Virginia Tech might be more his speed. Not a schematic, bad individual effort, bad tackling, and not being in phase is not a scheme issue. Okay. I was just playing devil's advocate there, Shawty. I found that a highly entertaining argument that y'all had. So I'm just egging it on a little more. That's all. OU defense still showed it was elite. This is the perfect place to start Brandon Snake on this game. And, Bo, with a guy like Sellers, who is as dynamic and athletic as you could possibly be, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as calling him Cam Newton because he's not. But athletically speaking, size-wise,
I don't know if there's a word to describe. I don't know if there's a word to describe that shit, bro. Like, like saying elusive and like, I don't know, man. Like that dude was shrugging off D lineman. He stiff armed, like muffed R. Mason Thomas. Like
probably you would have had a sack record had it not been for the fact that he was just able to shuck a lot of tackles, right? The only guy I didn't see miss a tackle on him was Kendall Daniels.
BV said they should have had another 6 sacks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's wild,
dude. And yet you still had a dominant performance. Aside from that, hey, they even said, talking about Oklahoma breakdown, one of the first things that Teddy said, it was the first thing he said, the SEC officials suck.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Trash. And, you had multiple penalties that should have been called on that touchdown run. I mean, you had a hold. He false started to begin with. It was so bad.
The touchdown pass.
The touchdown pass, the pass.
Okay, I like touchdown. I'm thinking in my head like
No. It was the only touchdown.
Yeah.
But that's not a touchdown if it's not for the fact that they just missed those calls. And honestly, it felt like that entire drive was kind of aided by some stupidity.
Listen, man, like that pass interference on Eli is the biggest crock of shit out there. Like, I am tired of quarterbacks getting bailed out for bad balls. Like that ball skipped 3 yards inside of both those Eli and Harbor at their feet. Like nobody's catching that. How's that pass interference? Nobody's catching that. Even if Eli has a right to be there, he has a right to that position. If the ball is thrown inside, why is that his fault? If the ball is 3 feet inside him and the receiver tries to come back, he's got a right to the spot. And don't say Eli's head wasn't back because it was this way, and the ball was back behind both of them. Like that shit's weak, bro. I can't stand it. Can't stand it. Yeah, like the one on my son, the pass interference on my son, that's pass interference all day, right?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I would.
When he turned to look back for the ball, the receiver slowed down to come get the ball. Even though it's a bad ball, I still have a problem with that. But I understand that being pass interference more than I do Eli, right? A ball underthrow.
He didn't get his head around fast enough, right? And it was like
Mike's got to get back in phase, right? So that's what he was doing, getting back on the hip and then turn and look for the ball, right? Just so happens the ball was 10 yards underthrown.
Fair.
But yeah, I don't like that. I don't like quarterbacks getting bailed out for shitty throws.
No, I agree, and that's one thing you can't. One thing about Cam Newton was that guy was going to make great throws, especially for a college quarterback. He got it done when he needed to run. He ran, but like what Shawty's saying here, he's kind of holding him back with what they kind of have to fit everything to what he does well, and really what he does well is run. He can throw a deep ball, but I mean, aside from, I just hadn't seen a ton of it. And aside from Nick Harbor, who isn't a great route runner, you know what I mean? What do you got going on there? It just doesn't seem like they've developed a whole lot of what's going on. That's why I think that
speed, bro, just run by people.
Fair enough, but they don't just do that with him. You know what I mean? I'd send him on every play just because I would send him on every play.
Hey, they did it plenty. You just didn't see it because he was out of the screen. You know what I'm saying? Mike was on him a couple times deep. You watch. So here's how I knew that was right. When you watch the game footage where they take film of the on the field level and like you see it, you'll see Mike way in the back with a receiver every time, damn near every time.
Well, that's what I would have done. That's all I would do. I wouldn't. He's not great with the lateral stuff. As far as moving left and right and things like that. I mean, I would try to get him the ball in space, no matter how I could get it to him. But I would definitely be sending him down the kind of like what you saw Oklahoma doing with Brennan Thompson last year.
Yeah,
send his ass down the field.
So there's two things I got. One, I want to get back to the referee, right? Like the targeting flag that they threw on my guy Reg. Like, dude, that guy should never be allowed to officiate another college game. Send him down to the high school ranks. Yep. He's the only ass clown in the stadium that thought that was a targeting.
Oh,
he's the only one. The only one. Get him out of
there. It was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious what Big Red said on Twitter. He was talking about that he wouldn't have been the only one that was suspended if they hadn't overturned that.
Yeah, dude, that was terrible, bro.
Or the only one kicked out of the game if they hadn't overturned that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. That was so bad. That was so bad. Hey,
Brandon Stake, the simple answer to this. Simple answer to this. You don't waste a game that you could possibly play him if you need him, and when they're trying to redshirt him as it is, on one snap because Mateer's helmet came off.
Oh, dude, I was yelling at the TV.
You don't waste a game on that.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Right. Correct. Simple as that. It had nothing to do with who will play. If there was, if you were to see poor play moving forward or another injury or anything like that happen to Mateer, no, it's still going to be Mike. Know that. As long as Oklahoma's got a chance to get into the playoff, it'll be Michael Hawkins.
Hey, man, in real talk, Mateer need to buckle his helmet up. Those two straps, he need to pull them tight because a couple plays later, some dude shoved them and his head went back and the daggone helmet popped off.
Yeah, again. And look, I mean, everybody thinks I'm a hater, so I'm not going to go too far with this. But I would just say that
They're not wrong.
they're not wrong. Yeah, I'm not a Mateer hater. Not a Mateer hater. Not a Mateer hater. But I would say I'm not worried about the Hawkins Mateer thing right now. I think that he played better. We'll get into that. Let's talk about the running game though. As well as the defense played, and they played well enough to shut them out. It was totally a dominant performance. But to be able to go out there, what did you have, 52 yards in that first, 50 yards, whatever it was on the first drive in rushing. Torrey Blaylock gets his first 100-yard game in the SEC. Huge, huge, huge day. And it's what everybody's been screaming about is how you can get balance back as far as you can force people to kind of, move up and not be able to just stay in that 3-high, 2-high safety look where they don't have to do anything but. I think it was as important as it gets. I love seeing, you talk about Gabe. One of the things that I was loving that he said a week ago after the Texas game was stop putting these tight ends in a position to where they have to be the deciding factor on whether a run play is successful or not because they're not good at it. So he did that. It saw some combo blocking where they're moving people. Look, offensive line, running backs, and scheme all kind of had a much better look to it, in my opinion, this weekend. Yes? No? What's your thoughts there?
Man, trying to think.
Is this a tough question? I mean,
I like Blaylock. I like Blaylock, but dude, I love Xavier Robinson. I love the way he runs. Right?
I'm an X-Rub. How could you not be an X-Rub fan?
Dude, he is so subtle and just his feet are. He's so patient and just kind of and just enough, movement, not too much movement, not just enough to where those arm tackles don't matter. Right? Those arm tackles don't matter. But I love what we did in our running game. I love what we did in our running game. And I think we got the thunder and lightning backfield combo to do it. And Teddy and Gabe, they were right. And I think we all saw it, bro. They've been screaming it, keeping the tie, especially against Dylan Stewart in that other cat, man. Like, and fortunately, and hopefully Dylan Stewart be good to go here sooner than later. But that was that hurt their team, and I'm not saying the guy that came in, even the guy that came in behind him got dinged up a little bit, but I think that run scheme fits for us, right? And I think Caden Helms showed that he probably can hold his own a little bit better. And the O-line responded, bro. I mean, they responded. They were getting blasted. They were getting blasted by everybody. They had the whole Sooner fan base coming down on them and doubting the team.
Trying to fire Big Bill and everything.
Yep. They're trying to fire everybody. They're trying to fire Venable. They're trying to fire. Bro, Texas come out and had the game of their life. Right? They just did. And it is what it is. Congrats, they won. But the O-line, they bounced back, man. And
let's be real though. I mean, if we're gonna say that
they fired off and they were moving people back, right? And I think that has everything to do with our guys coming out of the game healthy because we're firing off instead of catching and getting in people's way. We're firing off and moving people and moving forward, right? Not catching people backwards and getting pinballed and ding ding. You know what I mean? I think you put yourself in a more advantageous position, firing off and driving people up out of there.
I agree. And and part of it too, yes, I think the scheme had a lot. You didn't have as much RPO going on. It was more combo blocking. It's going to be a run block. These guys are firing off the ball, like you said, and doing their thing. But here's the thing, and to go back to what you just said about the Texas game, forget about Texas so much. But the truth is, when you've lost that game 3 out of 4 years and not scored a touchdown, there's plenty of reason to be pissed off about it. And everybody can get some of it. And what I've always loved about Coach Venables is that he knows that look, I would tell you, we always talk about this, that I don't want to see the stupid takes all the time. And we get a lot of them. You know what I mean? But the one thing about it is this fan base cares enough to be crazy, right? If they didn't fly off the handle and be ridiculous about it, it wouldn't be quite the same thing. Not everybody, there's something to that. You know what I mean? The best coaches have understood that and embraced that as well, which is what I think I think there's a lot to it, but I'm not one of the people that's ready to go fire Big Bill either. I thought that was a little crazy. I think it's all a little crazy, but I would say that there's some definitely, it was worthy of questions to be had. And I mean, even your boys there at the Oklahoma Breakdown had some serious questions about the scheme and what they were doing in the previous week. And so if it's fair for them to ask the questions, it's fair for the fans to do the same. And I think that shout out to the offensive line, shout out to Ben Arbuckle, and shout out to this running attack for figuring out a way to put something together that mattered and got it done.
Yeah.
And, I'm kind of thankful that Gabe had as much to say as he did about that stuff, because I've been wondering the same thing, is why the fuck are we expecting tight ends that don't block well to be key blockers? For the entire season, I've wondered that.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's asking about why does Kip have no interceptions? I don't know. We don't have a ton of them to begin with. I also think that
he just had 2 really huge ones last year.
Yeah, they were huge. Yeah. And I also think that, we've heard a lot about this. This defensive line is so good that there's not a lot of stats to be had.
Dude,
particularly for the linebackers.
They're gobbling shit up.
Yeah. I heard Nate Dreiling talking about it.
I see people questioning everybody all the time. Where's Robert Spears Jennings? I haven't heard anything from Michael Boganowski. I haven't heard anything from Kip. Like, dude, there's not much getting to the second level consistently.
That's what I was saying. Right. Well, if you think about what Nate Dreiling was talking about it on the coaches show that they do, right? He was talking to him. He said, look, I've told my guys that there's just not going to be much out there. Just that you better get it whenever you get the opportunities, because there's not going to be a lot of them.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about a guy that was a legend in Division II or FCS, whatever it was, as a linebacker himself.
4-time All-American.
4-time All-American, guy that made a lot of tackles. And he was like, there's just not going to be a lot there, because this D-line is so good that you're not going to get a lot to the second level. And he's not wrong. If you pay attention to what's going on with it and look at it, how many times do you see anybody breaking past that first level of guys? It's rare. It's rare. And so, you saw some good things from them. Look, I think you're going to have to, you have to hope that, you get a blitz or something like that and, make a play, make good on it whenever you do, but these are good problems to have. Stat stuffing isn't what you really want from this. You're not going to see it really from this defense so much. I think a lot of times you're going to get guys that they're going to eat the sack rather than throw a pick, but it was good to see them turn them over twice. As far as that goes with look at even Taylor Wine, you're asking why no linebacker, why Kip's not getting them. Taylor Wine's out there getting them on a damn punt, a fake punt. So good for him too. By the way, he's been playing fantastic. They talk about 22 starters being out there on defense, that them having 22 starters, and they're not really wrong.
Yeah.
It's not really hyperbole whatsoever, if you ask me.
Yeah. We got a lot of dudes, man. And you got to look at it as like deposits in the bank, right? Like getting these other people like more playing time. Like for a while there, I was actually kind of in my feelings about Kip, like subbing Kip out so much, right? I'm like, dude, that dude makes plays. Keep him in there. You know what I mean? But you got to think about it, man. The season's long. We got to keep guys healthy. We got to get them do some big time reps. And Heineke's balling, dude. I'm not out here saying Heineke's trash. Like I'm not saying that. But
No.
he's
We
getting
know that. We know this. We know this.
he's getting good snaps, right? He's getting good snaps, and that's we got a real rotation, man, and we got real second and third teamers that can play, and it's a good thing, man. So I sometimes the negativity from OU Twitter gets to me, right? And I might fall into that a little bit. And you got to check yourself sometimes. Like, well, this is actually a good thing. This isn't a bad thing. Kip Lewis is not getting subbed for Owen Heineke because Kip Lewis is playing bad. You know what I mean? We can't fall into that trap and that line of thinking.
Well, and I think, I was watching Damian Mackey last night, and he was talking about on that key, third down where they were able to convert, or maybe it was the fourth. No, it was fourth down, wasn't it? When they converted on that scoring drive. Yeah. And he didn't like it. He didn't like it that Kip wasn't in there and that R. Mason wasn't in there. And you had, PJ and,
dude,
and Owen in there.
Sometimes I have the same feelings, bro. I'm not going to lie to you.
That's what I'm saying. I understand what he's saying, but I also, you got to understand kind of where they're coming from. If you do it the same all the time, and you can't give every key snap to the guys that have already been there, or else you're going to run into the situation in the next few years of these guys just not getting developed right. You know what I mean? It's almost like I saw something with Mac Brown. I saw something that Mac Brown was talking about the way that he handled things with Gilbert and even with Colt McCoy with Vince there, was that when he was putting those guys in and say a blowout or whatever, that he's not letting them really run the offense and throw deep or do any of this stuff. It was all check downs and this and that. And it was a disservice to those guys, because when he needed Garrett Gilbert, and he had kept Colt in too much. He was talking about trying to get him a Heisman or whatever. But the point is it just made sense to me. It was like, you've got to get these guys some important time run in order for you to know that they can handle it whenever it's their time and they're the starter, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Right. But it's a catch-22 though, also, and you're always going to get questioned on it whenever they convert on a play versus when they don't. You know what I mean? It makes sense. I understand certain fans and being upset with it. I understand what D-Mac's talking about. I understand what you're saying. It makes plenty of sense to me. In the end, either you really are a 22 deep, or 22 starters, or you're not. So, and looking at this defense, I'll stand on this. People are saying top 5. I'm going to still say I think it's the best one in the country. I just think that they're good at so many things. I'm going to continue calling them the best defense in the country. We know they certainly. It's pretty
a real statement this weekend against Ole Miss.
Very much so, and that's where we should probably head next with this, and we can kind of get off it. But yeah, listen, they haven't faced an offense as dynamic as what you're going to see with Lane Kiffin, and that now, do I think Big Cuz was on Saturday night with us, and he was saying that he doesn't think that this Ole Miss offense is as good as the one from last year. I don't know if I agree with that or not. But they've certainly been very good. Trinidad Chambliss is a stud. He can beat you in multiple ways. They're going to go out there and put points on the board. I think that if you can hold this team under 21, it's on.
Is that success? If we hold Ole Miss under 21, is that what we'll do?
Yeah. You tell me. What do you think it is? I'll put it to you this way: I'm sure you saw it on the somewhere in the stats whether it was on the broadcast or later on. They've won like 80 something games in a row or some shit like that when they hold somebody under 21 points. That probably goes back a long ways because it's been a while since they've done it on a consistent basis anyway. But in terms of thinking about what this team has to do in order to contend for a national championship, you're going to go up against some teams like this that we're talking about the number 2 offense in the conference, passing wise anyway, and then the next week you'll have the number 1 with Tennessee. So, I mean, look, I think 21 would be successful to me, but you tell me what it is for you.
I think that's pretty close, man. I would probably say if we can keep it under 20, if we can keep Ole Miss under 20,
yeah,
that's like that should cement us in like we are the top defense in the nation, right? Like
I think it might throw Oklahoma right back into the top 5 in the country as far as what people are
us
thinking.
moving up only one spot was atrocious.
Yeah, whatever.
Like there's I don't know.
There's hate there, but here's the thing: you continue to hear stupid narratives coming out, and when you lose to Texas in a game you should so clearly win, it's going to be what it is. But I would say if you go out there and you protect, your home turf and shut down one of the best offensive minds and one of the best offenses in the country, you're able to do that like you did pretty much against Sark's. They didn't get a whole lot going. They had one really good drive, and they had a bullshit punt return. And a lot of it, aside from that one drive, you didn't see a ton of that kind of shit going on even in the Texas game. But if you can do that against the Mississippi team that has just one loss and really looked like they were poised to win that game last weekend, I think you'll get a lot more respect. And everybody keeps talking about this gauntlet. If they continue running through this thing and winning games in this gauntlet, then they should get the right respect. Don't you think?
Yeah. I just want to go back to the AP thing. Like, there's too many 2-loss teams ahead of us, right? Like it's disrespect, bro. Like,
yeah,
we're 5-1 or 6-1 now, right? What is it, 5-1?
6-1, 6-1,
6-1, right? Yeah, 6-1. There's too many 5-2 teams. Like Notre Dame.
You've got Notre Dame in front. That's the only 5-2 team in front of them is Notre Dame.
One too many.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
My opinion.
I think it's fair. The thing about Notre Dame, though, and I mean, look, not to give them any more love than what Oklahoma should get, because I agree with you, and I think the coach would probably agree with you on this too. But they did lose to what were 2 top 5 teams. Certainly, one of them is still in the top 5 now, and they did that by a total of 4 points. I don't think that their 2 losses are as egregious as a lot of people are acting like. There's a lot of hate that goes on there just because they're not in a freaking conference. But that being said, look, do I believe that 7-0 BYU is better than Oklahoma? I don't. I think they're good. Do I believe that Vanderbilt is better than Oklahoma? I think that Vanderbilt is right there probably with them, but I don't know why you pick Vandy over Oklahoma necessarily.
Dude, I think Vandy's criminally underrated, badly ranked.
They're top 10 though now, so I mean,
are they top 10 now? What did I?
Yeah, they're in the top 10. They're number 10. They're ahead. Georgia's in the top 5 again. Man, I don't know. Oregon, I don't know that I love Oregon because they haven't really played anybody aside from how good does that Penn State win look for you now? You know what I mean? How good does that look for you now?
Yeah. Fuck.
I'm just saying. And then but they're getting all the love because you've got half of the damn media that's connected to Fox that they're going to push those teams. And Indiana being at number 2, come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Georgia Tech I like. Georgia Tech plays a brand of football that I enjoy. I still think Miami's very good, but I don't know why you still have them ranked above a Louisville team that just beat them in their house, and they've only got 1 loss. You know what I mean? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
So pretty wild to me. In the end, I think Oklahoma right now, they're still in a good. I think it's a good position for where they need to be. And as we know, the rankings don't matter that much. What really matters is coming down the stretch. If you win these games, and especially if you don't have any more than one loss coming down the stretch, you're going to get in. You're going to get in.
That's gonna be really tough.
Okay, I agree with that. I didn't say it wasn't. I said it was a gauntlet. It's everybody's talking about it being a gauntlet. I think that's a fair thing to say.
I'm thinking out loud. Only losing one game all year is gonna be really tough.
They just beat a ranked team this week there, Mr. Dilligaff. They just beat a ranked team this week who immediately became unranked. But whatever. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. But look, I would just tell you, look, man, Jeremiah Love, that guy is a stud. You know, CJ Carr, he's spinning it, playing really good football. That if you think that they're not good enough they played for the national championship last year, and I think they probably got a little bit better. Maybe not quite as good on defense as they were a year ago. In fact, they're not as good on defense as they were a year ago. They're certainly a lot better on offense, and they're definitely well coached. So, if we're gonna sit here and nitpick at these teams in the top 10, or in the top 25 even, what are we talking about with Oregon or Miami? I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it. I think that Alabama is at number 4 is too low. I don't believe in Indiana at all. And who the hell have we seen Ohio State play? Really? Now that we think about it, who the fuck have they played that's been good? Because if you tell me Texas, I'm going to tell you to go fuck off. That's not what we've seen. That's not what we've seen. So I get it that they're number 1. They're the defending champions. They're still undefeated, but they're not playing anybody. And then Indiana too. They got them at the top 2 spots. I think it's bullshit. It is what it is, though. I think A&M. I think Alabama. I've got Alabama ranked number 2. So that's where I have them at. By the way, if you're picking in our polls right now, make sure you get your vote in today, please. We've only got a few in there so far, so please make sure that you get that done. They've been sent out, and I've even been sending the reminders. So make sure you guys do that. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's pretty wild. Did you feel like Miami fell enough for losing that game?
I don't know, man. Like,
They still got them at number 9. They went from 2 to 9.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have that. I think that was more about Carson Beck than it was the team, in my opinion. 4 picks, pretty bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, right? I don't know that it was. Yeah, you kind of wonder why they were putting him in a position to throw those interceptions. And I guess that's just because I don't trust in Mario Cristobal very much at all. So I immediately kind of want to go there. But I do think that they're pretty damn good. I mean, you continue to see that their defense is pretty legit. But listen, I got to tell you what I came away with from that game was impressed with Jeff Brom in Louisville and their defense.
Yeah.
They're legit. They've only given up 2 more first downs than Oklahoma, who leads the country in the amount of first downs they've given up. They've given up 2 more, right? Yeah. They have Jeff Brom is known as a quarterback whisperer. He's done some good things with this quarterback, but this was about their running game and their ability to shut down a really good offense at Miami. Go ahead.
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, nobody gives a shit. I don't really care about the AP top 25.
I don't either.
But I just find it interesting sometimes, like a team gets punished versus compared to how other teams don't get punished for a loss. You know what I mean? Or a dominating win, or how if like another team gets a great win and they get a big bump, and another team gets a great win and they move up a spot or two. I don't know. It's really weird to me, especially as many as the top teams lost last week.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like
A bunch, right?
there wasn't a big as shuffle as I thought there was going to be. I was expecting something different, and when I looked at this the other day, I was like, huh. I don't know. That was weird to me.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at, looking at, wait, okay, here, hold on. So yeah, I had top 25 selected here. Damn it.
Hey, and I say a lot. I talk a lot of shit about Mizzou, right? But I think Mizzou isn't ranked high enough.
I don't
That's
know.
just my opinion.
I don't know. I'm not sure how you allow Auburn to stay in it playing as badly as Auburn played. The Auburn's got a good defense, though. They do have a good defense.
I pretty much watched that whole second half as I flipped over from the Alabama game after it kind of got out of control.
Right.
Right. The quarterback, the Mizzou's quarterback was having a little bit of issues. He didn't look himself, but he fixed himself.
I don't think he's that good.
He fixed himself toward the end. He played well. He played well at the end. Made some nice throws. Had a couple runs. Kept plays alive. He played better. He played better in this, from what I was told by the TV and Twitter. He was sucking in the first half, but ended up playing a better game in the second half.
Hank was talking about holding. He's fine at Alabama at 4 because holding FSU against them. I don't know that I would. I mean, you can say that, I guess, but if you're watching these games and you don't think that Alabama is the best team in the country right now, I want to know who you're watching.
Alabama's good.
I think they're the best team in the country myself. Just by the eye test of what I'm seeing and what I'm seeing from Ty Simpson, I think they're the best team in the country right now. That being said, I get what you're saying. And here's the deal. I think that's arguable. And this is why we've said there's so many teams that could win this thing, right? There's so many teams that could win this thing.
It's wide open. There's no doubt about that.
Wide ass open.
Wide open. But yeah, I thought we had a really good chance of going into Tuscaloosa at the beginning of the year and getting a dub. It's a lot tougher than what I originally thought at the beginning of the year. That is going to be a tough dub to get.
Florida. I don't know how you take this. Well, to me, it's the dreaded voice of confidence coming from Florida State's athletic directors saying they're fully committed to Mike Norvell. Maybe they're committed to not having to pay that contract to a coach that isn't coaching there anymore. Maybe they're saying they're committed to him until the end of the year, maybe till the end of next week. I don't know. They're not looking like they're firing Mike Norvell this week as of right now. That just came out here about an hour ago. Not sure what, talking about Billy Napier, they fired him Sunday morning to, a round of applause from most of the creator and fan base of Florida. And I think it was definitely probably time for him to go. I'm not sure that their number one target, which is Lane Kiffin, is. I don't believe that this is going to happen. To me, I think that I'd be surprised if he leaves Ole Miss myself. It's just me, but I don't think that he's going anywhere. What do you think about that?
Hey, I think it's a great distraction for Ole Miss coming to Norman.
I do too.
I love that. So that's what I think about that.
I was kind of hoping that's where you would take that. I was kind of hoping.
At the end of the day, I give a shit what Ole Miss does or Florida does. I don't care. I give a shit. But I like the fact that it could be a distraction for the team.
Yeah, I like it. Let's see. OU beats Ole Miss. Don't worry, we'll move up 3 to 4 spots. If they beat Ole Miss, they should move up 3 to 4 spots. And I think that if you beat Tennessee the week after that, look, here's the deal. It's becoming elimination time. Tennessee now has 2 losses. So if you beat them again, they're out. And, you're all but knocking Ole Miss out if you beat them this weekend. Not necessarily, but, and I think they may be through the meat of their schedule. So they still have an opportunity to get there. The main thing is that this is an opportunity for the pecking order right now with the SEC, especially for all these people that have, at all these, other fan bases that say Oklahoma sucks. Go and win these next 2 games and see what they say then. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to talk a lot of shit, whether you're a pollster, a media member, or just a fan that runs your mouth on Twitter. Not going to be able to say a whole lot if Oklahoma and this defense is able to shut down the top 2 offenses probably in the country in the next 2 weeks. If you do that, I want to know who believes that they can beat you at all. Because I think it's going to be tough. That's just my feeling on it. You know what I mean? I think that Oklahoma has everything in front of it and every opportunity to prove itself moving forward. Something I do want to ask you, though, and I know that, I know where you stand on this. I know where you stand on it coming into the season, and that the 8-win mandate or whatever for Brent Venables wasn't necessarily real. I think it was more real than I originally thought it was. Once they talked about Joe C was, announced that he was retiring, I felt like it was definitely more real. I'm kind of wondering if at this point the expectation, I think you probably need to not completely come apart over these last 5 games or whatever. But I do think that BV's getting closer to being safe.
Oh, BV Vince. Like, so there was word, like, Michigan, after Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
you heard less and less, right? After Auburn, you didn't hear shit. And then it creeped in a little bit again after Texas.
Not a little bit, a lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
But I don't think it was as prevalent, right, as it was. But I mean, dude,
I'm listening.
Like, you have to really think about what happens if you decide to get rid of Brent Venables.
This is where I was about to go with it. Continue with this because I want to bring this up.
If you write that shit down on a board of all the bad things that will happen, all the pros and cons, right? You write that stuff down, right? A lot of us are visual. We got to see it. It doesn't make a lick of sense at all. It doesn't make a lick of sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's year 4. Guess what, man?
Absolutely.
Look at where we're at in year 4. It's starting to pop. And you want to cut bait right now with one of the best defenses in the nation, if not the best defense in the nation, and an offense that's putting up points. And we wanna sit here and just be Debbie Downers all the time as a fan base. And the standard is the standard, dude. You just don't get to the standard by waking up and deciding we're going to get to the standard. You got to build that shit, bro. And people need to chill and be patient, because the football shit is not like a phone where you can just swipe and get exactly what you want in the click of a button. That shit takes time, bro. And very rarely do you see those mercenary teams like Ole Miss last year. Mercenary team went hard in the portal, didn't even make the playoffs. Right?
Yeah.
Trust. You gotta trust. You gotta have trust that BV and Jim Nagy and Joe C and the staff up there at Oklahoma is smarter than we are.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta trust that, and you gotta know that too. Like, you gotta know that. You gotta know that they're smarter at this shit than we are.
Listen, there's not a single thing you just said that I disagree with. The one thing I would say is I think that the fact that you've lost 3 out of 4 to Texas is significant.
It doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't. And because of the fact, especially when you had won 6 out of 7 leading up to that, right? Yeah. You won 6 out of 7 leading up to that. My deal is, but I am in agreement with you, and particularly in view of the fact that you got to think about this. You've got multiple coaches in the SEC on the hot seat and around the country for that matter. We were talking about Mike Norvell just now. He may be safe. He may not be. I don't know that he's safe. I think that you can't lose to Stanford and be safe, right? But the money may be a deciding factor there. Maybe he hangs around another year. But South Carolina, who's to say what's about to happen with that, right? Shane Beamer is not making people happy right now. I think it's clear that Hugh is out. I think it's obviously they've already fired Napier, and they've already fired Pittman as well. And you're looking at a situation where you can see some upheaval around the SEC more than you already will. You're definitely going to have 3 guys out at minimum. To me, I feel like it's kind of silly to do it. Right now, you have an opportunity that if you can't see where the next step is for Oklahoma, and this is where I'm totally in agreement with you, is this defense is legitimately a championship caliber defense, right? Is the offense a championship caliber offense? Maybe, maybe not. I think healthy-wise, they're growing into something that you might like. But here's the deal. If Alabama, never mind. Not Alabama, but Auburn. Forget about them, though. Florida they just fired Billy Napier. That means that you've got Dallas Wilson that can go into the portal for the next 30 days. This dude's a straight-up stud. There's guys, SEC caliber football players are all over the SEC, and you're probably going to have, and again, you're going to have at minimum 3 full teams that are going to be able to get picked through. And if somebody like Drink ends up getting the job at Florida, there's a 4th one, right? Or if Lane Kiffin does decide to choose to go to Florida, there's your 4th one. Then somebody's going to have to take that job. What about Brian Kelly? He may be in trouble too. So there's another one that you could have as many as 5. And 5 that get fired, not to mention the ones that end up swapping jobs or something like that, which is a possibility, I would think, right? It's definitely a possibility. So at this time, to me, it feels like it'd be smarter to stand pat, have some continuity. If you want to make some position coach changes or whatever, do that. You know what I mean? Let Ben Arbuckle bring in some guys that he wants to bring in if that's what you feel like needs to happen. Fine. But I think you probably, at this point, you've seen them go to 6-1. I would like to see them get to 8 and 9 wins just as much as anybody else would, and even 10 wins. But I also, you can't have it both ways and say that this is a gauntlet that not many people would get through with just 3 losses and then say, but you have to keep your job. You don't get to do both. Now, I understand the part of it with the Texas loss when you should have probably won the game. And the idea that, look, this guy we're struggling to see offense that we feel like as Oklahoma fans, we're so used to seeing. I think that that's also a big part of what the hump people are getting over mentally. Who was it that just said you've got that? Oh, Sooner Ray said that he heard somebody as high up of a source as he knows that it's 9. I've heard these high up sources say it's 8. And I've heard them say it depends on how it goes and who the losses are to, and how the rest of the season kind of pans out. I feel like we're starting to see less and less. I think if you win this weekend, you're probably not firing the guy at all. I can't even imagine that you would if you lost out even.
Dude, who? Okay, let's play the game, right? Let's play the game for all these people. Who are you hiring?
That's a good question. Well, that's what I'm saying. That was the next part. I mean, all these coaches that are going to be out of a job, who's going to replace them? Okay, I think that there's a number of. I'm not one of these people that thinks you have to go out to retreads. My first guy would probably be John Sumrall, right? I think he's already going to be up for a job. Oh, there's a number 6 with Stoops is probably out the door as well. We're talking about a lot of these, but there's a lot of programs that are going to need coaches. So now you're jockeying for position. I think that Oklahoma is going to take the pecking order over most of these teams, if not all these teams we've talked about, if they were to fire him. But here's the thing. you still get poached. You still lose. I mean, most of these kids. Let me just ask you this: you guys are obviously dedicated to Brent Venables and what he's doing. Is it not likely, or at least, I mean, within the realm of possibility that you guys would choose to go elsewhere?
No, I don't
You
think
wouldn't
so.
choose to go elsewhere?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's not my choice. It's not my choice.
Well, I know it's not your choice, but I'm saying there wouldn't be the idea that maybe you go wherever he ends up being a DC at, because he's not going to not have a job for very long.
I don't know. I don't think so. That's just my initial thought and what I think and how I feel. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think that this is overblown. I don't think the athletic director is in charge of this anyway.
Dude, this is ridiculous. I mean, like I don't this talking about this just makes me like
Cringy, right? It's cringy.
yeah, it's cringy because we're so far away from that. Like this,
No.
but like we're so far away from that, and this is what I'm talking about. That negative aspect of the fan base that sucks you in sometimes.
Sure.
Like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Like BV, dude.
Well, we only got 20 minutes left, and I'm not going to spend it all on this. So I just wanted to say
Yeah.
that the reason that I brought this up is because I feel like the further away that I mean, you're now at 6-1, right? You've already won as many games as you did last year. That to me, I feel like you're probably going to at worst split the next two. I
Yeah.
think you beat Mizzou. I think you have an opportunity. You probably beat LSU. I don't think
LSU's
LSU is
not
very
very
good.
high, are they?
Right. And if I'm saying, I mean, I think that Alabama's the best team in the country right now. So I'm not going to pick you to beat Alabama necessarily, particularly going into Tuscaloosa. But that doesn't mean that I don't think that you could.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I don't think that you could, because I do think that they could. To me, the feeling should be among this fan base is that Oklahoma can beat all of these teams.
Yeah.
Every one of these teams that are left on the schedule. So in my opinion, if you have that feeling, whatever the outcome may be, I don't think it's a fireable offense if you lose some of these games, right? I think you
Dude.
probably need to win at least one more to make sure that he stays. And
This shit is
probably
nearsighted.
if you get to the 8, if it's silly talk, really. But
Yeah,
I'm telling you that I think that more and more that I look at it, I think it would be crazy. And look, I got to tell you, I've been super critical of Brent Venables for the last few weeks over the handling of the Mateer thing. I wasn't a fan of it. Not been a fan of it, right?
Yeah.
But look, in the end, I can see the forest through the trees, though, ladies and gentlemen. We can see that this football team is on the level of being a real contender if they get over a couple of little humps. And like you said, just snapping your fingers and wanting that to happen is not really the way to go about it. It's not.
Yeah, it's
I'll give you the last word on this.
it's crazy, right? Like SEC Mike just posted a little graphic with all our wins and asked what our updated win total is, record. And to be honest with you, like 10-2 is like we're staring at 10-2 right in the face, homie. Like 10-2
Sure.
is it is so doable. It's so doable. Just as the season plays out, right? Like before the season, I would be like, hey, 10-2 would be amazing, but very difficult, right? Not saying it can't be done. We just have to get a lot of breaks, stay healthy, da 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 da. But now, dude, as the season goes on, I'm looking at that schedule right there and how teams are in where they're at. You know what I mean? Like things change, right? It's fluid. And looking at it right now, like 10-2 is really doable. You know what I mean? Like 10-2 is
Sure.
really doable.
But I could also see it being 8-4, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad season.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
I think you would be disappointed in 7-5, but I also think, again, you can't talk out of both sides of your mouth and say that this is the toughest schedule in the country and then complain if you don't get what you want out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
That's
And
exactly
and stuff like this, Bishop
exactly
Frank, is
right.
why people say what they do. This is why people say what they do, that you should fire his ass if not.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. I mean, listen, man, we're playing great. We're 6-1. Let's just embrace it and enjoy it, right? It's good times. 6-1. I get it. We lost to Texas. Move on. Flush it. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. We do have to move on for sure, right?
On to Ole Miss. Let's go. We come out here. Hey, that was a pivotal game, right? Like that. This South Carolina was a pivotal game. South Carolina could have beat us easily. You know what I mean? If we let them. But we come out there, we put our foot on
If
their
you let
throat.
Texas beat you the second week in
Yeah,
a row,
yeah,
right?
you can't let that win beat you again or that loss beat you again, right? Can't let that happen, right? So we come out there, we put our foot on their neck, and we didn't let up. We might have had we might have had a little lapse on that first 4 minutes of the middle eight, but we come out the second half of that middle eight and put it on them.
Well, that was the concern, right? But and that's
You
part
felt
of
it.
my
You felt it. You felt it.
part of
I
what I
felt it
was
through the
concerned
screen,
about
bro.
and what I was criticizing about was that I felt like, and we talked about this. I know you weren't on the show last week, but you and I talked, and it was like it feels like we're not making the adjustments that you need to make against this football team, right? And so it's a concern coming out the next week. And last year we saw the same thing in the Missouri game and in the Ole Miss game, that you've got leads in these games, and after halftime you throw a dud out there, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be better offensively, and I think that you got to hold their feet to the fire for some of that. But the other thing I would say is, again, it's not like it's not like you're getting a bunch of Kentuckys or South Carolinas for that matter. You're not. You're just not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the bottom line is yes, they should win. They should have a chance to win every game. They have an opportunity to win them all. If they only win 2 out of the next 5, that gets them to 8, right? Are you a little disappointed? Probably. Is it still a good season? Yes, especially in view of the fact that you went 6-6 the year before that, right?
I mean,
In
not
view of the
all
fact
losses
that
are the same, though. You got to look at it. You got to look at how the loss happened.
absolutely, and the other part is again, at this point you got to look at it. You got an opportunity with all these possible changes going on in the throughout the conference. You can
Hey,
pick up
man.
some guys in the portal that can help you tomorrow, and next year you come out there, you got to add a couple of pieces offensively,
Oh yeah,
maybe
you're
some
right there.
linemen, some stuff like that, and next thing you know, you're really ready. But if you eject you're a large part of this damn roster because you need jerk react into a firing that you probably shouldn't have yet, then it's wild talk,
Hey,
right?
listen.
Just wild.
Hey, I'm moving on from this shit. At least our head coach didn't make the decisions that Mike Stoops and Kentucky made at the end of that Texas game, bro. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. It is 2nd and 10. They're around the 30-yard line. There's like 14 seconds left or something like that, 12, 14 seconds left. Enough time to take a shot and try to win the game. And they kicked the field goal and left like 5 seconds on the clock.
Yeah.
It was absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then let's take it to overtime, bro. Let's take it to overtime. First play, get a nice 20-yard, 21, 22-yard gain down inside the 5. And they try to jump over the pile 2 times and get stuffed. Instead of kicking the field goal on 4th and 3, at least get 3 points and make Texas, you know what I mean? Texas come out and gets a penalty and goes backwards, ends up kicking like a 40-something yarder, 47-yarder to win the game in overtime because that was, I don't know, man. I feel like once you get to overtime, man, you got to kind of live to fight another day, especially you're playing well against, I don't know, man. That was just, if you're gonna go for it on 4th down, bro, do something better, dude. Something better than trying to dive from 4 yards out. And I don't know, man. That was so bad. I couldn't
I
believe
agree.
it.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, yeah, there's some things that I'd love to see some improvements on. I think we all would. But again, you have to remember, I mean, there's some things that if you're not there's big improvements in this program. And I think you do have to still go back and realize that just what kind of situation this program was left in. This is year 4. I get it. This is, I mean, for a lot of people, it's too long. It's not, whatever. Okay, fine. Look, I know one thing. I haven't seen personally a defense at Oklahoma like this at all. I personally seen it. And that includes the Boz and them in 85, although I would tell you that I remember bits and pieces of that. I was little, right? There's the year I've kind of fell in love with the game and everything else too. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you I think they're better than the Selmans or any of that other shit. What I'm going to tell you is overall, this has the makings of being the best ever defense at Oklahoma. Right? And I'm not ready to give that up yet over a couple of losses to really, really good football teams in the Southeastern Conference.
Hey, man, I'm just going to throw this out there. You did exactly what you said you weren't going to do. It was waste the rest of this show on
I know I got 15 minutes left. Yeah, we're done with it. Let's move along. Hey, let's talk about, you wanted to talk about.
I tried to move on to Texas and Kentucky, and you went right back.
Yeah, but look, this is what the freaking audience wants, bro. They're talking about it.
They need to stop. You need to stop. Stop falling into it. That's what I'm
Move along. Texas. What about Texas? Tell me Texas.
No, I already talked to you about how Kentucky let them off the hook by some dumb shit. And Mike Stoops probably about to get fired.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's see what else. LSU Vandy. Hey, let's talk about that game a little bit. I hadn't even really thought about it, but what a freaking football game! And we could talk about Bama and Tennessee, which another monster.
Tennessee, dude, run the ball. What are you doing?
Yeah, bro.
Run the ball, bro. That cat was eating. Bro. That cat was eating. Run the ball.
I don't understand what they were thinking.
That's my summation of the whole game. Run the ball.
Yeah. That and Ty Simpson is just doing it. They're just.
I don't think that was his best game, to be honest with you.
It wasn't his best game.
But, dude, run the ball. Run the ball.
Yeah, I'm with you.
What are we doing?
I'm with you. Vanderbilt, though. What a huge win. First time that they've been, what did they say, that they've been favored to win an SEC game in shit forever? 80-something games?
A ranked team like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
even for any team.
That's an indictment to me. That, I don't know, man. Hey, who at the end of the day, I was going to go back to the AP top 25, but who gives a shit, right? Let's talk about how sweet that renovation looks inside Vandy Stadium. That looks killer back there, dude. I like the way that looks.
They got plenty of money. They got plenty of damn money. We know that shit.
Dude. That looks sweet, dude. I'm a big Pavia fan. That's my guy.
I am a big Pavia fan too.
I like Coach Kill. That's my guy. I'm a big Beck guy too. I love that offense. If I could choose any type of offense, I'm running that. I love that offense.
I do too.
And it's something else. I sneaky root for Vandy, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I sneaky root for him on the low. I like Nashville too. Shout out Nashville. I can't wait to get back there. We play them coming up here. One of these 26 or 27. I can't remember which one it is, but we go to Nashville. It's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, too bad that Pavia won't be around.
Yeah, it's all good. Still Nashville's a vibe, bro. Nashville. It was a vibe back in the day when I lived there.
I'm a fan of Tennessee. I think it's a great state.
Yeah, I mean, Nashville was lit back in the day when I was a young soldier, and I, be down in Nashville. I can only imagine what it's like now.
Hell yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, I think Knoxville's a cool town, cool place.
Yeah, never been there.
Tennessee's a cool state, man. Tennessee's a cool state.
Tennessee's not bad.
Yeah, cool state. I'm excited about going out there next week. It's gonna be fun. Good place to be. Good place to be. All right. Yeah, look, big win though. I mean, for them to do, and Pavia just, man, he makes play after play after play. He just, and I love that he plays off script in a way that, like somebody was bringing up who are they bringing up as like Baker Mayfield? And I'm like, dude, if you're not talking about Pavia right now, you're off. You're off the mark because he's the one that would be the closest to Baker that I could think of.
Hey, so there's Cole Cuba.
As far as just that competitive drive and all that shit.
Oh, Pavia's got, he just pisses confidence. You know what I mean? Like that dude, yeah, he's good. But I mean, have you seen that clip from Cole Kublik he put out on Twitter of that Vandy offensive lineman? They're saying it's the rep of the year. Dude just destroys two people. Bam, bam. I mean, I can see why Pavia in the run game is working, and they got dudes like that. Bro, go check that out, bro. Dude,
maulers. Just maulers.
Number 70 just wow. Dude, that is a hell of a play, man. Shit like that, dude. In the way he comes back and fires on that guard or that nose tackle or whatever it is to help out his center. Wow. Bro, amazing, dude. Amazing.
I don't know why I don't understand this question so much, Bob. Who cares? He's great as a college player, but I think NFL guys like winners, and he's a winner. You know what I mean? I think he's a winner. He's got enough arm. Maybe not. I don't know. His arm isn't great for in the NFL necessarily. Again, though, winner. Neither is Dylan Gabriel's for that matter. Dylan doesn't have a big arm.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, I don't know. I don't care what his pro potential is, to be honest with you, because I'm enjoying what I'm seeing from him. If you can go in and win at Vanderbilt, which doesn't happen, you know, and there's more to it than just him, but he's a big part of that. For what he's doing, he's won a national championship at the JUCO level. He won. Look, he took and went with New Mexico State and won at Auburn. You know, he's undefeated against Auburn.
Yeah.
Beat Alabama. Almost got him again this year. I mean, this guy's the real deal. I can appreciate him for that, right? I'm happy to see what he does. He's a badass dude. Badass dude. Wakes up, pisses excellence, as Brandon Snake said. Yep, I agree. Shout out to Diego Pavia and his hot mom.
Dude, hey, let me tell you something, man. The camera does not hesitate to find her.
Of course not. Why would it?
She's a good-looking lady. I'll give her that. She's a good-looking lady.
Man, I love me some Latina girls, man. Hell yeah. Hey, listen, I'm single. I can do this if I want.
Did Theo Vaughn ever go out on a date?
I don't know. You were the one keeping up with that more than me.
I
know that it sounded like Diego kind of shut it down. It sounded like Diego shut it down. All right. We got a couple of minutes left.
Slide in the DMs, bro. Slide in their DMs, bro.
Yeah. I think that's probably not the way
you won't do it.
But no, I won't. Maybe I'll get an opportunity to meet her sometime. New Mexico, whatever. Who's to say?
Well, she live up in Albuquerque, right?
Mm-hmm. She does.
From Albuquerque?
She does indeed. Although Albuquerque gets your ass shot up.
Yeah,
especially then. Yes, it is.
Oh.
Michael Hawkins' mom is hotter. She's married.
Yeah. Settle down, bro. We're all wild, bro.
Hey, let me tell you something. That one, nah. I'm not playing that game.
No.
Oh, man, that's hilarious.
Wow,
Too much. All right.
I mean, let's say that play by Pavia where he spins and throws, that 4th and 1 where he makes a dude miss and spins out of it a couple times and drops it off to the running back. Number 44 made him look dumb. I mean, that's dude. Dude, people like him, and that dude is going to be good in Nashville for the rest of his life. You know what I mean? That dude is going to be a Commodore legend for the rest of his life in Nashville and be good. Like he ain't got to worry about nothing no more. Like
Oh,
people are
bro,
gonna take
yeah. He's never going to
fucking
buy another
route.
meal or drink. Never buying another meal or drink in that city ever. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would
Like
you?
this dude.
Love that. What a player. He's
That's
a
why
great
college
player.
football is great, right? That's why college football is great.
3 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go. Let's go with this. Hey, Lincoln Riley. Another big game. Another big L. And they had this one at, it looked like they had this one in their hand, take a late lead, and then unable to stop the run game whatsoever, the Notre Dame. This is indicative of what you've seen from him really throughout his entire career. Some of it was in the Big 12, and that matters. Is there any way that he stays around at USC after this if they continue? Because they're not going to – you can't believe they're going to win out. They still got to play Oregon, right? And history tells me they're going to lose to a team they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Kind of like Nebraska did this weekend.
I don't think Nebraska. I don't know. Maybe Nebraska gets their bounce back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Nebraska gets their bounce back.
So what say you? How does he survive this? If you're Lincoln Riley,
I think they own too much money.
Aside from
AD,
that, look, man? We know that there's money out there, and they're getting the most money of anybody out there. They're in the conference that gets the most money. And there's no shortage of big cash at USC. If they want him gone, they'll fire him. They don't give a shit about that buyout. Has he done enough to lose that job?
I don't
Matt
think
Abbott.
so.
Come on,
I don't
guys.
think so.
Why do we always bring this shit up? This is a never happened deal. It's about as useful as Kel Gundy conversation. I don't know. I don't know that they fire him this year either. But I feel like here's the deal. What's going to happen if they don't make a run this year, right? If they fall off and let's say they get to 7 or 8, when you kept hearing Mayava's as good as he is, they've probably got a top 2 or 3 receiver in the country, and Mekhi Lehman, that guy's been a badass, and you just can't figure out how to win games and help your defense out enough, or get a defense built to the point that it's going to help you out enough to win. You got to feel like, are you going to keep that recruiting class that right now is ranked number 1? I don't know that you do. And aside from recruiting classes, what the fuck has he done?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know what else. How many times do you have? Go ahead.
Besides stealing Caleb, taking Caleb Williams with him, what else has he done? Because that was the only reason. That was pretty much the only reason why he was even competitive.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Because think about this: the year that he had to play Washington and Oregon, they went 7-5 with Caleb.
Yeah.
With Caleb.
Yep.
So,
yeah,
that's the thing. He's robbing money, Zofix. Absolutely robbing money. And think about that. With Lincoln Riley's offense, it may not be as good of a defense. I'm telling you guys, we're thinking about a situation of you can't blend those two to work the same way. I would like to see Oklahoma's offense be a little more efficient in certain areas, but you don't need them to score 40 and 50 points a week. You don't. You just don't.
Yeah.
All right, man. Running out of time here.
Hey, man.
Anything else you would like to add to this?
Yeah, man. Rest in peace to the Doug or not, the muscle hamster, Doug Martin, Bucks running back. Tragically died. I think he was 36.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah. Shout out to my guy. That was my guy, man.
Yeah. That's terrible. Yeah. Rest in peace, man. Yeah. Listen, think it's going to be a fun week. I'm excited about all this, man. I'm excited about the week. But I guess you'll be out there this week. Obviously, you're not going to make it this week either?
No. We got a game Friday night, and the 8:30 cameras. Last game's at 8:30.
Okay.
8:30 Saturday
So
morning.
so
For
you will
some
be in
reason,
Knoxville. You'll be in Knoxville next week then.
yeah, yep.
Cool.
So I mean, I don't understand why college football wants to make a big time, top 15 matchup like this 11 o'clock game. I don't know. Crazy to me. But anyway, your scheduling deficiencies have caused me to miss it. So I'll be watching it from the house, man. Probably give me some wings or something.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you.
Shotgun a
Good
couple
stuff.
beers.
Shot and a couple of beers. Sounds
You
like
know
good
what I mean?
times.
Yeah.
Good times. Well, man, I appreciate you coming in for another big Monday with us.
Coach Rick's hopped in for the last 27 seconds.
What up? What up? What up? Appreciate it. Yeah. Hey, I want to say thank you to everybody coming. Yeah, same. Look at Big Cuz.
Ryman, look at everybody hopping in. Where'd you miss me last night, Ryman? What are you talking about?
Ryman? Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Where'd you
Welcome
miss
in,
me?
guys. We appreciate everybody coming in. We're on our way out. I got to get out of here, so we're gonna get going. Appreciate everybody coming in, though. Make sure that you check out our sponsors. Hey, if you're betting and you're not using my bookie, I got to ask you why. Because you got hookups, and if you're trying to help us out, it'd be great. So jump on there, check out my bookie. If you're looking for gear, make sure that you are jumping onto our. We've got amazing stuff in our, not just in the Fanatic store, but also in our merch store. Got some really cool new designs, some different stuff like that. We're always open to new ideas as well. We'd love to see. Help us out to continue creating this content day after day and week after week, man. We appreciate it. Big Mike, appreciate you coming in, my guy.
Yeah.
Hit that like button on your way out. Horns down. We'll see you all on the next one.